Hey, all you meltdown CPAs, all you stock bros, all you guys who think you know how to evaluate companies, pay attention. I'm gonna put you up on some game. Have you ever run a butcher company? You know, go in there and you tell the butcher, "Yeah, I wonder how much money you made this year." And you ask him, how does he actually keep track of that? How do I make a profit? And you could say, well, what's your top line revenue? How much money did you make based off of your sales? And the butcher's going to look at you and say, nobody cares about the amount of sales I made. The amount of sales I make doesn't mean I actually made a profit. And so, well, wait a minute. You have to hit a certain level of sales to make a certain amount of profit. And then the butcher reminds you, he says, well, that's all dependent on how many pounds I sell. It's called tonnage, poundage. How many pounds did I sell? And you go, wait a minute. That would be true if all pounds were equal. You see, there's this thing called yield on a piece of meat. You know, you get a big piece of lamb, the yield is around 96%. Because you don't have to cut off too much to make it sellable. You get a piece of chicken, the yield's around 95 to 98% on that piece of chicken because you don't have to do much to it. But if you get a piece of steak, piece of meat, and depending on how you cut it and how much you yield, that's going to vary on how much you would actually call profit. And every piece of steak has a certain amount of yield. It might be 80%. It might anticipate you cutting off 15% of it to make it a lean, clean fighting machine. You see, in business, guys, people try to give you worth and value based off of your top line revenue. How much did he do in sales? And right away you have to remind them, well, what the hell am I selling? I don't need to sell these big ticket items that have zero profit. The margins aren't there. Maybe I should tighten it up. Maybe I should only sell the things that are actually profitable. Now my gross profit margins increase, right? So as gross profit margin increases and top line revenue comes down, you actually make a better business model. What if you start selling things that take up less retail space? You know, if I was going to sell chicken and pork, it'd have to take up more than half of my store, my butcher shop, because those are highly sought after items. They don't cost a lot, but they weigh a lot. And they take up a lot of space. Not everybody's here to buy these filet mignon. Now, I tell you this because GameStop, my investment, is a butcher shop. And there's these things, you know, people say, well, GameStop sells video games. Yeah, they do. But they've managed to find a way to carve out every ounce of yield out of that piece of meat. They own the warranty. They own the private label products. And they're selling, and there's a connection to service on PSA graded cards. They have found a way to invent an ecosystem, an atmosphere that covets growth and wealth and margin. Tell those CPAs, unless they're running a butcher shop, unless they understand that not all pounds are equal, then they might not understand what GameStop is. Peace.